Hi, thank you and good morning. Thank you for the introduction and the invitation to talk in this great conference. My last talk in this campus was 15 years ago when I defended my PhD thesis. I have to say it was a little bit less crowded than it is today. So anyway, I'm happy to be here. This is our first official public appearance. So please let me start by saying a few words on the unit. We're Israel's national SIGINT and cyber unit. We're part of the defense intelligence in the IDF. Our mission is intelligence collection on crucial threats to Israel for the IDF and for Israel's policymakers. We're also a major player in cyber domain in Israel and play a role in Israel's cyber defense. A few words on our operating system. It is based on two pillars. First, we do data collection. It comes from various sources, through our partners, but mainly through cyber accesses to adversary networks and to terrorists' infrastructure and personas. We then hold a large data set on which the IDF's intelligence bases its research. We're processing it with high-end data analysis tools, which we develop mostly in-house. 3 facts about us. First fact. Like it or not, we work in quite a tough neighborhood. This leads to ongoing high friction in a dynamic and intense environment. We have new challenges each day. When we succeed, we save lives. When we fail, this becomes a major problem for our nation. Second fact, we're privileged to have a huge amount of talent. Each year, we recruit more than 1,000 of the brightest girls and boys in Israel as they join the IDF at the age of 18. This also makes our personnel very young. Over 70% are under the age of 23. 20 years ago, I was one of them. Third fact, our core values are democratic values and ethics. We have military decision-making procedures while allowing individuals to express their opinions and concerns. The combinations of these 3 makes us quite unique, comparing to other similar agencies and units. Let me now move on to our part in cyber defense. We're running counter-cyber operations in the unit. It is for the purpose of identifying, monitoring, and mitigating cyber threats in Israel. 8200's counter-cyber operations are a major part of Israel's cyber defense strategy, fully collaborating with our cyber defense partners. We would begin our operation with a lead coming from the IDF's Defense Division or another Israeli agency. This would be some technical info on an attacker that is currently targeting victims in Israel. We would then research it using our passive collection and some other tricks which we developed in the past few years. As you can imagine, our experience acting in this domain helps us get into the attacker's head. Our goal is to reveal the adversary's attack and understand its method. We might be able to identify and attribute the attacker. We might find other victims, not necessarily in Israel, that are under a threat. Once we obtain superiority over the attacker, we then act to deny their capabilities. First of all, by collaborating with industry and other agencies, but if necessary, we do it on our own, implementing our tools at some point along the attack stream. Be assured, 8200 won't rest until the threat is removed. Now, when do we apply these methods? I'll mention 2 examples from recent years. In the first case, an adversary attacked water treatment facilities in Israel. We saw this careless attacker attempting to poison the water in order to claim human lives. We mitigated that threat far ahead. Another adversary from this region attacked in Israel. We initialized a CCO and found out they're also trying to attack power plants in the US. This was the first indication for that attack. It enabled preventing this threat through our tight collaboration with our fantastic US partners. Now, this would be a good point to recall the uniqueness I mentioned before, resulting from our friction, talent, and values. I'd like to mention two of our informal responsibilities. And because of this uniqueness, I actually see them as real duties of our unit. The first informal responsibility is to help set the norms for cyber activity. We are committed to restrained use of the power we produce, but due to our high friction, this is really challenging. So what are we doing about that? First of all, we carefully choose our targets, and our actions go through a strict approval process. Second, we produce our own high-end capabilities, and we fully control its proportional usage. If there is an option our capabilities would fall into the wrong hands, we would disclose them immediately to the InfoSec industry, making sure they're patched. And it's not just a theoretical statement. We test our tools thoroughly, making sure there are no unwanted effects. However, most importantly, we have a culture of ethics. Our soldiers and officers at all levels can voice concerns and raise difficult questions. They know they have impact. It makes our soldiers proud of their work in 8200. This is actually also the main reason why I'm standing here today in this unnatural environment for me. I believe government agencies like us, together with the private sector, should discuss these issues. I'm proud of our norms, and we want to contribute. Now to the second responsibility that we have, which is to the Israeli society. The unit provides opportunities to our talented soldiers. We understand that. The diversity of our recruits influences the diversity in our high-tech industry and the diversity in Israel. It is our duty to constantly improve it. We partner in high school technological education programs in the peripheral areas in Israel. In the past decade, among the cyber experts we recruit each year, the part of girls and boys from these areas raised from just a few percent to more than 1/3. Last year, together with other units in the IDF, we expanded these programs from high schools to junior highs. Next year, it will take place in more than 20 local authorities. We expect more than 20,000 students to participate in those programs. I'm sure it will create the revolution of the next decade. I'll now conclude by saying that first, we are here, and we're willing to collaborate. Most of what we do will have to remain top secret. But I think some aspects of the way we do it can and should be discussed. Second, we are preventing cyber threats on Israelis, and we assure that Israel remains the leading power in technology and cyber in our region. Third, our unique and informal responsibilities are actually duties, and we take them very seriously. To our democratic values, to the norms in cyber domain, and to the Israeli society. I'd like to thank you for your patience. I'll ask you to now just forget my name and enjoy the rest of this great conference. Thank you once again.